Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wine.com Experiences. I'm Gwendolyn Osborn. So glad you have joined us today because we are going to be tasting and talking about the delicious and just released Kylie Minogue wines. And we are very lucky that we are going to be doing that with the one and only Grammy-winning global icon, Kylie Minogue. So we are tasting 3 wines today. So if you've purchased these wines ahead of time from Wine.com, wonderful. Please go ahead, get those open, get them in some glassware. If you don't have them, they are still available on Wine.com and you can find them there. And of course, this video lives on the Wine.com YouTube channel after today. So these are our Kylie Minogue wines. We are going to be tasting through the Prosecco Rose, the Vin de France Rose, and the Cotes de Provence Rose. And these wines were just launched in the US this summer. So we're really excited to be able to taste them and have them to enjoy all summer long. So let's introduce our fantastic Princess of Pop, Kylie Minogue. Welcome, Kylie.
Oh, start my video.
Okay, there we go. Hello.
Hey.
Hi, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and taste through your wines and introduce them to us.
That's quite an illustrious group of people who came up in the intro. Then you've raised your glass with some famous and amazing faces.
Yeah, yes, I think that there's something about the appreciation of wine that comes about with some people in the celebrity world, and they start wanting to delve more into it. And I've definitely been privileged to chat with them.
I did not see this coming.
Yeah. So
for the most of my life.
Yes, and so let's start with that. Let's start from that beginning of maybe that we always kind of talk about the wine bug of like when we first realized, oh, wine is like part of life. So when did that wine appreciation come about for you?
I dial it back to being 21, 22, and starting to travel the world. I was dating a guy then, this rock and roll icon, and we got to travel to incredible places. And yeah, I rediscovered some photos and footage from that time, and it was like we were living in some, movie, going to the south of France and Italy. And that would be the time where it kind of, I guess that's where the first moment I can think where it was a real thing. It's like the wine was another guest at the table, and you centered around that, and it became part of your memories. And I can't remember what wine it was, so I'm kind of contradicting myself.
That's okay. Well, that happens in the south of France. Sometimes it's just the moment, right?
And you can almost remember the dappled sunlight and the beach smells, and I mean, it was just an incredibly heady, beautiful time in my life. And yeah, that would be the first time I experienced wine in that way.
And so I guess that once you kind of get to that level, unfortunately, you can't go back. So
from there, just talking about with your guests before, and what is it about? It's not just celebrity, of course.
No.
That's what it's the world. Wine goes back a long way.
Right.
But I've just, found myself in so many, with so many wonderful opportunities through time and in different places around the world where a nice bottle of wine lands on the table and you celebrate those moments.
Yeah. So, and what was that moment that you thought, with all these wonderful wines you're enjoying, thinking, I think maybe I could put my name on a label to represent what I love?
The moment is so clear in my memory. It's not the most riveting story, but it is the true story, that I was working on an album in 2018 in Nashville, and it was just so hot. It was peak summer. I mean, that was not on the brochure. No one mentioned when you go from the hotel door to your car, it's like you're swimming to get.
Yeah. That's southern humidity.
Yeah. Great look for the hair.
Right.
And I was I was told that the working hours in Nashville are quite sensible. Like that's the business there, is songwriting and studio time. And they weren't wrong. So you turn up at 10 and you kind of do till a sensible 6 or 7, whatever. And then a lot of alfresco dining in aforementioned heat. And I made a little joke at the start of this trip because I was with one of my managers, and I said to her, I need to up my my resistance here with the prosecco, with the rosé, because we were having a rosé of the evening, and so we worked very hard on that, made some ground, and there was just the moment that really sticks with me is I had a glass of lovely, crisp, beautiful rosé, and the way the light was coming through that, I was just holding and angling it in the light, and I said, like I said it out loud, like it's like I didn't stop myself saying it was a thought, did it? I said, oh, I'd love to have my own rosé one day, and that was kind of it. But I guess the seed was planted, and then so 3 years later, I met Paul Schaffsmer and the Benchmark team, and this little kind of flight of fancy became a brand and a business, and the start of what I know is going to be a lifelong journey of discovery.
It really is, because this business is fascinating and interesting, but it's, I've heard people compare it a little bit too, because it's artistry in the same way you could look at acting or music as artistry. There's a kind of parallel there, I think. So have you?
It's the notes, it's the sensations, it's the environment, where you drink it, how you experience it, and the other thing that seems obvious to me now, but I didn't foresee that happening, but it's about the communication and reaching people. And much like with music, we work on the music and you try to get it to the point that it's ready, your baby is ready to go out to the world, and as soon as you let go of it, it develops its own life and its own story, and it's like, send me a postcard, let me know how you're going. And that's what was a real unexpected delight with Kylie Minogue wine so far, is that I hear people's stories back. And so we're having a bottle of Kylie at the weekend, and it thrills me.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that place where they're enjoying it.
And people say this before, but for me, it's a new thing.
So what have you enjoyed with the process that you've kind of gotten to discover? Have you been able to visit the properties or taste during the blending?
It took me a while to do that, because we met in March 2020.
Yeah.
Etched into all our memories now. So we managed to have 2 meetings in 2 days. We liked each other so much the first day. We met again the second day with tastings, with bottles, with comparisons, and all. Like, Paul was amazing. He's actually secretly right there, because we're a team right now. And I'm not going to lie, I got a bit nervous. I thought, I don't know what to say. I don't know how you wine speak. But it turns out that we all know what we like. You know what you like, and you just say what you feel. And 3 months after that, we had our first wine on the shelves.
It was wonderful.
Crazy.
Well, we're glad. I know that it's a process for many reasons, and then obviously with the pandemic of getting it here to the US. So we're very excited to have them here, and we're going to taste through these 3. I think we're going to start with the Prosecco Rose.
I got it right here.
You got it right here. So for those at home or who are watching who love Prosecco but have kind of seen this rise in Prosecco Rose, just want to say it's still Prosecco. There it is. Beautiful. But it's got about 15% of Pinot Nero, which is Pinot Noir, added, which gives it this lovely bright pink color. So that's the Prosecco Rose. So tell me about the bottle, though, because the bottle is beautiful. If you couldn't tell, it has little hearts on it.
Yeah, I'm just going to pour this, let that settle. Yeah, the bottle is kind of a star in its own right.
Yeah.
Nice light on it there.
It's artistic.
Yeah, and it's gets a lot of attention. I'll take that guy off.
So what is there a story behind the hearts or any sort of?
Yeah, so the hearts, I have one of my songs is called All the Lovers, and fans and stans have their name, so mine are lovers. And we thought that was a nice touch. I mean, for many reasons. That's just another reason to have all the love hearts on there. I was over the moon when I first saw this bottle. Absolutely crazy about it. And then here we have it.
I know, here we are. It's such a pretty color. It's so vibrant.
Look at those. The bubbles are, fizzing away.
Fizzing away. They're just, it's beautiful.
I went to meet with the Zonin family where this is made, and
the Prosecco family.
Exactly, with Francesco and the brothers, the entire team there. How beautiful is that? And this is like breathing to them, Prosecco. So for them to welcome me in and really be excited about this product. I mean, I feel like I'm dancing in there. It's like those little jewelry boxes.
Remember with the little ballerinas?
Has them anymore, but you'd open it up and this kind of magic
ballerina. Yeah,
I feel like that. I've got that.
It is. Well, I always think of Prosecco as like very fresh and fruity, very like wonderful aroma, like floral and fruit, and that's how
I think it's elegant, and people's perception of Prosecco and Prosecco Rose seems to be changing, and it's it's lifting its game, and to be with the Zonin estate where it's just it's their passion. We were all enjoying the mousse, the fine mousse, and here it is. I'm going to have a sip now. So
there you go. Well, there's your wine speak. You just got your wine. You enjoyed the mousse. There you go.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. It is beautiful.
And it's giving.
Yeah, it's refreshing and bright, and it's almost festive in a way. This is like
I don't like too much, like enough sweetness, not too much sweetness.
So this is dry. I feel like the sweetness is more of its ripe fruit rather than actual sugar. And so you have that wonderful, rich, kind of like a bowl of really ripe fruit, and that kind of ripeness is more of what it's rather than sugar.
Strawberry dancing all night.
In a field of roses. Strawberry dancing.
Field of roses. Yeah.
There you go. It's very pretty. This is a lovely Prosecco. So when do you enjoy drinking this? What kind of foods do you like to pair with it?
I would probably appreciate just, cheese and crackers. Just just to get the taste. This gets the taste buds going. The food can do the same.
Yeah.
I think that's this is like the promise of things to come.
It's the amuse-bouche of wines.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, it's beautiful. I have just had a couple of Prosecco Rosés. This is definitely one of my favorites so far, but this is
Thank you so
ideal for summer.
We're really proud of what it represents, and it's actually the #1 Prosecco Rosé in the UK, which is wild. It's sensational. So I love it, and lots of other people are loving it.
Lots of other people are loving it. So I'm sure there's wonderful places to enjoy it. Yes, I'm a big fan. So the other two wines we have are coming from France. So the first one we have is the Vin de France Rosé, which is made of a blend of Grenache, Carignan, and Cinsault, very typical Southern France rosé grapes. So yeah, these are all coming from the south of France. So tell us a little bit about your goal with this wine, like kind of your style.
I will always love this wine because this was the first wine we did. This was, I mean, I know we're talking about what's in the bottle, but just to give a bit of background, all of these elements came pretty much on the doorstep through lockdown. It was, here's the bottle, here's the wine, here's the paper, but it's not going to be this color. Here's the debossing, here's the embossing, here's the foil. Like, the picture that you just showed, I lived with that. Would you mind pouring that for me? I lived with all these different versions of the artwork in my front room for, it can't have been too long because we had to get some pace on it. But yeah, so this was the first wine we did released in 2020. This particular one, which is the 2021, I was able to taste with Xavier from LGI in the south of France, so in situ, and we were really, really elated with this result.
Blend. And so that's exciting to be able to be part of the process, to see how those parts become a whole. I think that's just one of the, when I was getting into wine, it was so fascinating to me. And this smells like the south of France. I mean, it does. It's almost like the south of France.
You can smell the minerality. I mean, it actually.
Sea, I can smell the sea. I can smell the that lavender. I can smell everything. Like.
It really is talking to me.
Yeah. Yes, and it's easy drinking. It's easy sipping. It makes you think of afternoon parties and that.
Almost on holiday. Hang on, give me a minute. Going to have you. Or not.
Ready to book a flight. But this is very pretty. That must be very exciting. It was your first one.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just seeing in the background that there's all those rosés there, and to think it just started with this one, which I think people who have become part of the brand and the experience, I think they'll always go back to this one. It's great. You know, we're presenting different options, but yeah, this stopped me. I'm really enjoying it.
It's a beautiful wine. So what about is there any type of, I mean, I know all of these are kind of wonderful. I think of what would I pair with it. It's like a pair of flip-flops and a beach, you know. I'm going
for a Greek salad.
Yeah.
Or maybe a goat's cheese salad, something kind of light, although I've drunk this with quite a few different meals.
Yeah.
Japanese.
This is what you would have on your table, like bottle after bottle after bottle on an alfresco dining, like you were talking about those hot nights in Nashville. I just feel like. Yeah,
it's refreshing. It's, I think it's joyful. It's got enough of a finish. It's got enough complexity that we're not just, I think I might have just made up a word, galoshing. I don't know if that word, but that's what it feels like. Not just, you know, you want to say if you drink it like water, it's not like water.
No, it's definitely more complex than water, but it's also the brightness to it makes it very food friendly, and very, very easy drinking. So well done. That is quite pretty. I was taken aback. It's like, oh, you feel like you're there in France.
That was actually a nice trip.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we do have the third wine we have comes from the Cotes de Provence, the very more specific region in the south of France. Also somewhere you want to book a vacation to. And so this is a Grenache and Syrah blend. So tell us a little bit more about this wine, because I love this color. It's more pale, and it's
okay. We've gone into the super pale here. Okay, we're getting in more fancy in here, more specific. This is all from just north of Saint-Tropez. I mean, I've got to check myself, because just saying that, I mean, Saint-Tropez just exudes glamour and particularly rosé, and, you know, long nights and kind of luxe living, but also very real living. So when I visited there, it's, for a lot of us, it's like it's dreamy, but for them, it's a way of life. That's just how they do it. So it's sorry, can you pour that? It's life affirming. It is inspiring, and here it is.
And here it is. And yeah, again, it's more pale, but it's just, and yeah, Provence is, I mean, it's almost, you get up a little bit further into those vineyards from the beach, but you still feel
another sensation from, here we are.
Yeah, they're different.
This is delightful. And I would imagine this with, let's put it with one of my favorite dishes, which is, actually the first time I tasted this was in the south of France, eons ago, salt baked sea bass.
That's because I can get, you know, we talked a little bit about minerality, and that this wine has, I can almost smell the salt coming off the ocean, you know, and that kind of rugged soil, and
it's taking me away.
It is a beautiful wine. This is a little bit too easy drinking in a way, but it's a little too easy drinking. Yeah.
Well, let me just check that. Let's just see.
Let me just really check. But it's got a lovely texture to it. I mean, I love the texture of this wine. So balanced.
It's a great balance. It's smooth. It's got the brightness. It sits on the, you know, inside your mouth very politely. Yeah.
Politely. That's a wonderful way to put it.
Sometimes what you say trying to describe wine is interesting. So this is I will bring this out, well, anytime really.
Anytime.
I was trying to think of a point of difference from the others, but this is
this is I love all these wines. I don't know if I call this my favorite. I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough to choose.
Very tough.
Very tough.
This has got, like, I think it's refreshing. Well, they're all refreshing, but the length of the finish on it is, it's like it keeps singing. You feel that the resonance of that note linger.
Yeah, and like I like the texture and that kind of, because there's a little bit of weight to it that I enjoy so much. So very pretty. All three of these are just lovely, and
I really enjoyed that. I actually haven't had the opportunity to
taste them side by side,
to put them all side by side and experience the journey and the.
Well, how many vintages have you made of this Provence? Is the 2021 the first, or?
That's the third.
Third, okay. That's right, because you released them in 2020, so that's the third.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I love tasting these side by side. Has been great to kind of see all the complexities, but how they differ.
Yeah, but in this, you know, in this moment, I'm actually having a bit of a moment. This is making me feel very proud, very excited.
Oh, good. Well, that was going to come into my next question, which was you kind of mentioned it, what the most rewarding part of this process is, which you mentioned when people tell you stories of where they're enjoying it. But is there anything else that is really, other than right now, giving you a moment?
Oh, look, it's great gifting. It's great to have something that I can, I just, in the last kind of couple of weeks being here in the States, you strike up a conversation, or, you know, someone's having wine or I'm having wine, or even no wine, but in conversation, it will come up that I say, oh, what are you doing here? Have you moved here? I said, no, I'm not. I'm here for a wine launch. Oh, you have wine? I said, yeah, I do. I'd love you to try it. And then I get that to them, and it just starts the conversation, develops a relationship, and you know, makes memories.
Which goes back to what wine does, and what we realize is about wine is brings people together. And
Paul, who, you know, this is our little. I think I still say little project because it feels close to the heart. You know, it's reaching a lot of people, and it's gaining speed, and we're super excited to be launching in the States. But I'm kind of really protective of it. You know, it's our little jewel, and it's just starting to grow. Yeah, first it was just an idea, then it was a seed, and then the plants grew kind of faster than we imagined, and now we're tending the plots. We're really.
I'd say you have a bit of the start of a garden here.
There is a garden.
Yeah, if we're going to go with all these metaphors, I'm loving all these metaphors.
Oh, but that's what I was going to say, that Paul did, he did say early on, he said, once you're in, he's always been in wine, but he said, once you're in the wine world, there's no getting out. And I can understand, I can appreciate what he meant by that now, because it's introduced me to so many different people and a completely different craft and lifestyle that it's new and exciting to me. And I bow down to everyone who's been doing this for their entire lives. I know I've just kind of come into the room, or just put my little stiletto heel in, my little toe in, but it's been a great a very warm welcome to the industry, and for that I'm really thankful.
Well, and should be very proud. And also just noting that you can now never get out. What is next? Is there anything next that you're any goals, any future plans in Kylie Minogue wines that you're ready to share?
I mean, a champagne would be lovely. Watch this space. We don't want to go too fast. We're very, very happy where we are right now, but I think that because we're a good partnership and we are curious and inspired, and I'm surrounded by bottles, and having this moment of appreciation of where we are at this point in time. But we are dreamers as well, so or maybe I'm more the dreamer and Paul's more the the realist, but together we're a good team, and yeah, that could be really nice.
That's great. Well, I can tell you're passionate about it and very proud of it, and so you should be. They're wonderful, delicious wines. I'm so excited that we have the opportunity to offer them here in the US now, and for those of you at home, you can find them on Wine.com in the US, and obviously they're already having wonderful success in the UK. And are you selling them in Australia as well?
Yes.
Around the world. Will be a global brand.
We are getting there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and taste the wines with us.
So much. Thanks for your time. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in on Wine.com. It was an absolute thrill for us to be part of this today, and we hope to see you in person.
Yeah, so we look forward to what's to come and to drinking these wines all summer long. So
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Kylie. Cheers.
Until then, bye. Cheers.